Right friends, welcome back to Insight. This is 12th week from 21st March to 27th March. I have taken 4 issues for this week's Insight. First one is India's public debt has grown by 3% in October-December quarter of 2015. We are going to analyze what is the meaning of public debt. Next issue is in FPI flows, United States of America is in top position, and in FDI flows, Singapore is in top position. In both the cases, Mauritius is relegated to the second position. What is the main reason? We are going to discuss about it. Union government increased Dearness Allowance, popularly known as DA, Dearness Relief, popularly known as DR, to central government employees or pensioners by 6%. And what exactly you understand by DA and DR? Then the next issue is government reduced subsidy on nutrients for P and K fertilizers. Right? So these are the 4 issues we are going to discuss in Insight for this week. First one is India's public debt has grown by 3% in October-December quarter of 2015. You have to differentiate between what is meant by fiscal deficit and public debt. The fiscal deficit is the difference between government's total expenditure and total revenue, and for the year 2016-17, the fiscal deficit is targeted as 5,33,000 crores of rupees, which is 3.5% of GDP, and the accumulation of this fiscal deficit over a period of time is public debt. In general terms, I am discussing, I am not going into specifics, and our public debt is around 55 lakh crores of rupees, and in comparison to October-December quarter of 2014, in the corresponding quarter of 2015, the public debt has grown by 3%, and our public debt is around 55 lakh crores of rupees, and our fiscal deficit for 2016-17 is 5,33,000 crores of rupees. And don't forget, the difference between expenditure and revenue is fiscal deficit, and accumulation of fiscal deficit over a period of time minus the repayments is known as public debt. If you elaborate it further, concerns for any government, there are major concerns with regard to public debt. I have listed out 4 concerns for any government. First one is a short-term debt is more dangerous. Second issue is overall debt to GDP ratio. By looking at the macroeconomic parameters of any country, these things are very important if you look at public debt. First one is short-term debt. Second one is overall debt to GDP ratio. Third one is foreign currency debt without hedging. You may ask a pertinent question, what is meant by hedging? Here, if we have taken loans in foreign currencies like in US dollars or euro, then if our rupee depreciates, what will happen? Then the borrowers have to pay a lot of money for the same debt. To prevent it, or rather you can say to safeguard against rupee depreciation, to safeguard against depreciation of currency, hedging is used. So foreign currency debt without hedging is more dangerous. Then percentage of external debt to overall debt is also important macroeconomic indicator. So these are the indicators if you look at the public debt. And if you look at India in particular, our 92% of our public debt is internal and only 8% is external. And as I have already told you, short-term debt is the area of concern for governments. But in our case, outstanding debt maturing within 5 years is at present just 16% of total debt. And third important point is our reliance on foreign currency debt is also less. That's why we are safe from the external front. Right friends, this is all about this public debt. And the second issue for this week is in foreign portfolio investment flows, United States of America is in top position, and in FDI flows, Singapore is in top position. In both the cases, Mauritius relegated to the second position. Previously, foreign portfolio investment and foreign direct investment predominantly used to come from Mauritius. but now Mauritius is in second position. We are going to see the reasons for this, and you have to differentiate between foreign portfolio investment and foreign direct investment. Foreign portfolio investment is basically investment in stock markets. It flows in and may go away at any time. There is no stability in the investment. That's why foreign portfolio investment is stated as unstable. Not only that, capital flows and capital flight are quite common in foreign portfolio investments, and sometimes it will lead to asset bubbles as well as asset crashes. Sometimes artificial bubble will be there and sometimes crashes will be there. So these are the traits of foreign portfolio investment. This is basically investment in stock markets from the foreign land. And if you look at foreign direct investment, it is more stable. Investment flows into the country and it establishes its own infrastructure in our country. It creates employment, GDP will grow, and ultimately it will lead to wealth creation. And these are the traits of foreign portfolio investment and foreign direct investment. And why Mauritius is losing its top slot in both FDI and FPI. First of all, where is Mauritius? Mauritius is the island nation in Indian Ocean. 2000 kilometers off the southeast coast of African mainland. Please look into this slide. This is the location of Mauritius, and the predominant population are of Indian origin. Population is just 12 lakh, and Mauritius is the home to several brass plate companies. What is the meaning of brass plate companies? Only for namesake, these companies established their bases only with nameplate, no physical activity. Only companies establish such type of brass plate companies in Mauritius so as to take the advantage of tax. That's why these companies are called brass plate companies, and most of the investment from Mauritius used to come from such brass plate companies, right? And why people are not investing through Mauritius route nowadays? That means why the investment flow is reducing through Mauritius route? There are two main reasons. At present, as per the double tax avoidance agreement between India and Mauritius, capital gains are taxed only in the country of residence. That means if the FPI is coming from Mauritius to India, capital gains will be taxed only in Mauritius as per the double taxation avoidance agreement. But the interesting point is Mauritius does not tax gains on investment income, hence more income is coming from Mauritius. But there are news reports that India may amend these provisions with Mauritius. Hence, the investors are not taking the Mauritius route nowadays. That's why the investment coming from Mauritius route is coming down day by day with the apprehension that India and Mauritius are going to revise their DTAA guidelines shortly. This is one reason. The second reason is Indian Finance Minister Arun Jaitley announced that GAAR is likely to be implemented from April 2017. What is meant by GAAR? GAAR is General Anti-Avoidance Rules, and General Anti-Avoidance Rules gives the tax authorities more powers to look at brass plate companies, and most of these brass plate companies are situated in Mauritius. That's why the FDI is on decline from Mauritius because of these two reasons. So, FDI or FPI from Mauritius route is declining because of these two reasons. The two reasons are there is an apprehension that India is going to revise DTAA with Mauritius. The second is Indian Finance Minister's announcement that GAAR is likely to be implemented from April 2017. So, because of these two reasons, now the FPI or FDI from Mauritius is on decline. Look into the next issue. Union government increased Dearness Allowance or Dearness relief by 6% to central government employees or pensioners. When you look at central government employees, two issues please don't forget. First one is pay revision. Pay revision is taken up once in 10 years by pay commission so as to revise pay and allowances for the working employees as well as for pensioners. Central government appoints a pay commission once in 10 years. So, central government employees pay revision takes place once in 10 years. 6th pay commission recommendations were implemented from 1st January 2006 and 7th pay commission already gave its report and it is going to be implemented post facto from 1st January 2016. This is all about pay revision. Pay revision is different, increase in DA or DR is different. What is meant by DA? Dearness Allowance. That is for working employees. What is meant by DR? DR is for pensioners. That is dearness relief. Both are one and the same. And this dearness allowance and dearness relief are announced by the central government once in 6 months so as to neutralize the effect of inflation. And every 6 months, this DA, DR is revised by the central government to take care of inflation. And you may have a pertinent question, what is the basis for inflation? The basis for inflation is the index released by Labour Bureau, that is the Consumer Price Index for Industrial Workers or CPI-IW. CPI-IW is released every month by Labour Bureau. You may ask a pertinent question, what is Labour Bureau? Labour Bureau is under the Ministry of Labour, Government of India, and it releases 3 indices every month. One is Consumer Price Index for Industrial Workers or CPI-IW. For this base year is 2001 with index 100. This is released every month. Second one is CPI-AL. CPI-AL is Consumer Price Index for Agricultural Laborers and with the base year of 1986-87 with index 100. This is released every month. And the third one is Consumer Price Index for Rural Laborers or CPI-RL. So, base year is 1986-87 with index 100 and every monthly index is released. So, Labour Bureau releases CPI-IW, CPI-AL, CPI-RL. These things please don't forget. But overall Consumer Price Index is released by the Central Statistics Office. These things please don't forget. And if you look at Central Statistics Office, it releases 3 indices. One is GDP, second one is CPI, third one is Index of Industrial Production. And if you look at Office of the Economic Advisor under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, it releases Wholesale Price Index and the progress of core industries. There are 8 core industries, please don't forget. Right friends? So, this is all about the indices released by Labour Bureau and indices released by various organizations. Last one, government reduced subsidy on nutrients for P and K fertilizers. Government introduced this nutrients based subsidy scheme for P and K fertilizers. P and K fertilizers contain macronutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, like that, right? So, these are the macronutrients and every year government announces a subsidy for these macronutrients. Based on the subsidy given for these macronutrients and by taking into consideration the composition of these macronutrients in various fertilizers like DAP, DAP light, MOP, then the subsidy or overall subsidy on fertilizers are calculated. And at the same time, please don't forget, urea is not included in this scheme, right? So, this nutrients based subsidy is for 22 grades of fertilizers and the fertilizers contain macronutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, etc. Right? So, this is all about this nutrients based subsidy and we will discuss in news analysis sometime later with regard to nutrients based subsidy as well as the system of subsidy for urea and its ill effects sometime later. Right friends, with this let us conclude the insight. Please do join for other modules. Have a nice day. Thank you.